Alright guys, how's it going? Blue Milk here for our third week of the Meta Roundup. We did another 2,000 gem tournament here, just like we do every week on my Twitch channel. So if you guys want to get a part of that, make sure you join the band page. Make sure you follow me on all the cool platforms here. And as you can see, my webcam is also busted, so we're going to do this week with just a little picture of me peeking up over there in the bottom left. But let's get right into it. We have, in this tournament, we're going to cover our top 10 today. Congratulations to all the guys that played and played well. First place, we had Giga. He is running, we're going to see a whole lot of this. It's the Splash Yard with Night Witch. This is a very common deck, very strong deck. I actually think it's probably the strongest deck in the game right now. Just because by simply adding Tornado, you can do really well against Golem decks. Tornado is a pretty strong counter to Golem decks, and then the damage from the Skeletons on top of the Knight can clear that out pretty easily. Second place was Jack. He's running the. This is something we didn't see last week. That I thought was really meta, and I was surprised not to see it last week. I still think it is. This is the variation of Three Musketeers plus Battle Ram with Night Witch and Miner. So it's a little bit more of an aggressive variant. You can replace Miner with Knight for a little bit more of like a counter push and defensive style of Three Musketeer deck. In number 2, we have Cam. Cam ran an X-Bow with Night Witch. This is just showing you how incredibly strong Night Witch has been, guys. It's a control deck. It's got the Executioner plus Tornado, which has been doing really well, and X-Bow, which with Cycle 3.3 X-Bow. And I've never seen this variant of X-Bow before. So shout out to Cam from Nova Nuggets. Bringing something new to this meta roundup. I think this does really well just because Executioner plus Tornado is an incredibly strong combo. Night Witch is an incredibly strong card, and Cycle X-Bow, if you get the right matchups and you play it correctly, you can do pretty well. And I think this actually does pretty good against Splash Yard too, with the Skeletons, the Night Witch, and the Executioner. So this is a really interesting deck. I think this is something definitely to watch out for. Keflon doing well in the tournament as well, running Splash Yard, as you know, with the Night Witch. Pretty simple stuff. Legendary Tony running. Okay, so this is the deck that I really wanted to talk about. This is very interesting. The last variant I saw of this was, instead of archers here, I saw Dark Goblin, and I think both Dark Goblin and archers do incredibly well against Night Witch, which is really strong right now. But tomorrow is the patch. There's going to get a lot of things changed. So this is all pre-patch notifications. And after I talk about these decks, I will talk about what's going to change. What will we see less of? What will we see more of? But either way, P.E.K.K.A, it counters the Golem. Night Witch plus Archers counters the Graveyard, the Splash Yard. And P.E.K.K.A also counters the Three Musketeers. Lightning counters the X-Bow. Like, this is just a meta counter deck, and I think it's beautiful. I really want to try it myself. I think it's incredibly strong, and if you guys have the Night Witch unlocked, I think you should too. Next up, Kate31, making a last-minute rush. This is that Golem Lightning Splash deck you guys know and probably hate. I think this is a second or third best deck just because people are learning how to play against Golem with Tornado, with P.E.K.K.A, with a lot of stuff that can really shut it down. So I think the deck is really good for those who haven't learned how to play against it yet, but I think Golem is slowly falling. Wolf here in 8th place. Another Three Musketeers variant. This is the more defensive variant. Like I said, you have the Goblin Gang and the Knight. These guys are for counter pushing. These guys are for defense. And it's a little bit of a contrast to the Miner variant of this deck. We're going to go over to Anson, who got 9th place. Another Splash Yard deck, but this Splash Yard with Executioner NATO instead of the Baby Dragon Bowler. So it's a little bit less tanky, a little bit more control. Both of them are incredibly strong. And then lastly, 10th place, Gaming with Brandon. Well played over to him, running the Three Musketeer defense variant. So as you guys can see, there's a pretty consistent, hey, these are the good decks. I would say it's this Three Musketeer deck. I would say it's this Splash Yard deck. I would say it's this Golem deck. And then I would say you could probably consider this counter deck. So Golem, top 3 decks, I would say in order, are probably, oh no, there's Expo. So top 5 decks in order would be, I think Splash Yard's probably the best. I think this counter deck is probably the second best. I would say Three Musketeers and Expo are tied for 4th. And then I would say Golem is in 5th. But with the changes, let's go ahead and go over the changes here in this meta roundup video. Oh, no, we don't want that. We don't care about the new cards. I'll make a different video on that. So, the changes. Night Witch is going to get the bats lowered here, which and it's also going to lower the spawn speed. I think the bats are pretty overwhelming, and I think it won't be as swarmy as it is, but I don't think that'll take away the fact that, like, Night Witch can still 1v1 most things because of all the DPS. She only needs a couple bats to, like, clear out Night, to clear out Goblin Gang, to do a lot of the stuff she does. So her trading potential is still going to be really high, but she just won't be incredibly overwhelming like she normally is. I still think she's going to be very strong. Tornado, Poison, and Heal stacking. Luckily, that's not Rage. Rage would have been absolutely insane. It's probably a good thing that it didn't, but this is probably just for 2v2. That's probably, like, I don't see any reason to mirror any of these cards on top of each other. Maybe Mirrored Heal might be a little bit gimmicky. I don't know. Maybe for, like, Hog Double Heal. We'll have to try that out when it comes out. Tornado. I think Tornado is a card that takes skill. I think it's the only card in the game that really has variant results based on how good you are. Tornado has the most opportunity for placement and value, so high-level players use it a lot, and low-level players can't really utilize how strong it is. I think lowering the duration of it makes it even harder to use, but still retains its strength, which lets it keep its identity as a difficult spell that allows expert players to utilize its full strength. Log, range reduction. Log is already falling out of meta, so seeing it get nerfed is a little bit questionable to me, but whatever. Tornado does its job better. Goblin Gang, this was much needed. I think, if anything, they needed to remove one melee goblin, because the melee goblins are really what shred all those ground troops and counteract as, like, even if you zap it, because Zap's going to get stronger, because Log and Tornado are getting nerfed. So Zap's going to become meta. And then zapping Spear Goblin Gang still leaves 3 regular goblins. So I'm not sure about that, but whatever. Next up, we have Skeletons, skeleton count lowering. I think that was needed. Skeletons, they got nerfed in the first place for a reason. I don't really care for Skeletons. I think they're a little strong. Personally, I think the 4 count Skeletons would have been fine if they just nerfed all Skeletons in general. What this would have done was it would have also nerfed Graveyard. If you just took like 5 damage off of all Skeletons, that would have been a much better balance change. Because sure, the P.E.K.K.A., the Prince, all those mini P.E.K.K.A.s, all those cards would still get distracted for longer, but they wouldn't get distracted for a long time and then have 0 health because the Skeletons do so much work. If the Skeletons had a little bit of a damage nerf, I think that would have been a much, much better change. Bandit, yes, dude, this is what I want. I really like the Bandit. I think the Bandit is a great card. I think the Bandit's a fun card. I think it's counterable. I think it's balanced. But if it just had a little bit more health, it'd be good. And if his dash just came out a little bit faster, it'd be good. So these changes, I think, are the best in the patch notes. I think Bandit needed some love, and I think these hit the right spots. Next up, Inferno Dragon. I hate Inferno Dragon. I think it should stay bad as a card. It's a flying Inferno Tower. Sure, it's a legendary, and it should be strong, and it should be crazy, but oh man, this is going to cause a lot of troubles. There's a couple people in Royale Championship Series, the tournament that I run. You can check that out on my stream as well. There's one player that runs Inferno Dragon. I can't remember who it is. You could probably watch the VODs and figure it out. But yeah, Inferno Dragon I think is in a decent spot. I guess it does need a little bit of a buff. But man, it's such an overwhelming card, so it's going to be scary to play against if it does become meta. Witch, getting the much needed buffs. Bigger AoE, which is beautiful. Spawn speed, which is, it's alright. And the hit points increase is going to be interesting. I think the AoE radius is going to be the best thing because Minion Horde is coming back in the meta. You see it sometimes in 3 Musketeer decks. So, you know, whatever. Clone, faster cloning effects. This will help with the Giant Skeleton clone combo. I made a video on my page about clone bumping. You can check that out on my YouTube channel. I'll probably post it's in there. I don't make too many videos. You can find it. It's pretty easy. But yeah, clone bumping will be much easier. It'll also make clone a little bit better. Clone is really cheeky. The only time is you see it comboed with Clone Mirror Night Witch, but that's just because Night Witch spawns so many bats. And now that it doesn't do that anymore, you probably just still won't see clone. And then bats, bat count from 4 to 5. Bats haven't even been released yet, so I don't know. I don't think bats by themselves were a problem. I think it was just Night Witch. But either way, that's your meta roundup. That's your patch note coverage. And that's all you need to know here about this week in the meta roundup. I am posting a new YouTube schedule, so check out my Discord and my band page. Join both of those for lots of tournaments, lots of content, and the new YouTube upload schedule along with the Twitch stream schedule. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment on what you think the patch notes will bring, if there's anything I didn't mention. And I'll milk you later, guys. Thanks for watching. All right, let's go back to Clash Royale.